Yeah. I happen to be friends with a guy named Brother Andrew. Now, probably most of you've never heard of Brother Andrew. How many of you have heard of Brother Andrew? God Smuggler,
Yeah.
Dutch guy, you Dutchmen, don't you?
Yeah.
So Andrew, Anna Vanderbilt and I, we're good friends. And he's the one that smuggled Bibles into the Soviet Union during the Cold War. And he'd pack up whole Volkswagen, he loved Volkswagen vans. He'd pack up Volkswagen vans and take Bibles into Russia, to the Soviet Union. So Anna would always say, he would tell the truth, but not all the truth. So our customs guys would say, have you got any, any merchandise or any, or he would say like, yeah, I've got thousands of them. You want one? So, or like, well, we were trying to take Bibles into Saudi Arabia back in the 70s. Not a good idea. Yeah, we got caught out in the middle of the desert. We were driving along. We were driving from Beirut to Jeddah, right? A lot of desert there. So we get into Saudi Arabia. You don't actually have a border. It's like the border's in 50 different kilometers away. And so we come up on this one little outpost, and these guys are in the middle of nowhere. They have nothing to do except tear our little Land Rover apart. And they did, and they found all the Bibles. And back in the day, Saudi Arabia wasn't quite as friendly, shall we say, to Bible smuggling. So, anyway, it's a long story, but I was trying to think if Andrew told the truth or not. Probably did. But anyway, we'll go with this one. If it's okay with you. Telling the truth is always the best strategy, no matter the consequences.
But not always on the good moment. You have to choose the moment.
Yes, yeah. Sometimes you need to have wisdom involved in this. Well,
because your truth can change.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. As far and a good way to say, to the best of my knowledge, that we can say. And I do that a lot now because my memory is so bad. I can't remember most of this stuff. So that's why I said early on, what I'm telling you this week is mostly true. It's as I remember it. So it might not be exactly true, but as I remember it, it was. And there's a saying that the older we get, the better we were. Because you can't remember how bad your memory is. The older you get, then you were great back when you were a kid. You were one, So it's not true, but it's a good memory. Where were we? Oh yeah, telling the truth. I know. I had it right down here. Telling the truth is the best strategy. I should have looked at my notes first. Any other? You had for a minute. There was a bunch of comments. Yes, Astrid.
Yeah, I faced this a little bit like a struggle because I started working with people that are mentally disabled in Norway, and then I mostly tell the truth, and we mostly tell the truth, but sometimes we have to lie to not really big lies, but like we have, for example, one patient that is ambivalent, and she can just make up like my aunt is in the hospital, or I'm going to this town tomorrow, and we know she's not going to, but sometimes we just need to kind of not like decline or cancel it like right away, because she can get really angry, and she can ask us like different things. And we have to kind of just make up something to kind of make her come on the same level as her. So I found that as a really a big struggle in the beginning, because I don't want to lie, but in that case we kind of have to for her own safety.
Yeah, and that's, I think that's perfectly understandable.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a problem with that at all. I think, I know what it was, Andrew used to say, you have to tell the truth, but you don't necessarily have to tell all the truth. So sometimes there's, it's truth, it's kind of truthy, but maybe not exact. Okay. Somebody else had a comment? Yes, Alicia?
Okay, it's more like, with that, like, we're not telling the whole truth, but then is that lying? So say, like, someone's like, oh, what did you do today? And you told them some things, but you withheld other things because you didn't want them to know. Like, is that, that's still lying, right? Or is that just,
Well, now you put me in a tough spot.
sorry?
Julie?
I was just thinking that in a case like that, that would come down to your motives. Like,
Yeah.
what is the motive of not telling the truth?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that puts me in a tough spot, because I do that sometimes with my wife. I don't necessarily tell her all the things that I have done, like if I've had a bike wreck or something stupid and fallen off a cliff or whatever. Unless I've broken bones or something, I usually come home and how was it? Oh, it was good, yeah, great trip, yeah. No worries, babe, it was really fun. Then I'll take my shirt off and I've got this big black and blue bruise over there, so. But my point is, she's very high on the trait neuroticism, in the sense of she feels everything very strongly and is very sensitive to stuff. And I know I'm okay, mostly. And so I don't want her to worry, that's basically it. So I tell her mostly the truth things, but not necessarily the full details of them, so, yeah.
Does she know about this?
No,
She has her suspicions, let's put it that way. Oh, gosh. Okay, any other comments, sir? Oh,
So you don't believe that a lie by omission is,
what's that?
you don't believe that a lie by omission is like.
A lie by omission, oh, I like that term, that's good. Can you? I think in this sense, in often this instances, God knows our heart. If you're not trying to deceive or, whatever, then, I don't know, I think it's reasonable. But you don't want to lie, about things that, are significant, and meaningful. And, and you need to tell the truth. And I think maybe, as Emily pointed out, sometimes it's the right timing of bringing it up and saying it. You don't want to just come out. Yes? Becca?
You also have to take into account boundaries. So if someone on the street asks me how my day was and I've had a terrible week or whatever,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily need to tell the whole truth to them. I can just say, I'm doing okay. And then with someone else, actually say, this is what's been happening, because it's not necessarily safe to share the full truth with everyone.
Excellent comment. Good point. It's kind of like Jesus said, don't cast your pearls before the swine. Because that which is precious to you may not have any value at all to them. So, like you said, if you just meet an acquaintance or something, how's your day going? And you don't sit down and give them a 3-hour talk about how everything is. No, they don't care, basically, they're just being polite, and it probably doesn't do any good. So yeah, you have to be really careful who you share your real heart with. So yeah, I would say on casual stuff, you say, yeah, been a tough go, or a bit of a rough road, but it'll be fine, sort of thing. But yeah, good point, really good. Guillaume?
I think that I have another theory.
Okay.
I think telling the whole truth is something good in the idea, because God is the truth, and He is pure and perfect, and the whole truth is perfect. So this is good in the depth of the idea. This is good, But foundation is good. But as we are human beings impacted by sin and imperfect, we can support the whole truth in our lives. This is why we're trying to find explanations to not saying the whole truth anytime, and also because we can't support it. I think we need Jesus the Holy Spirit to be able to receive the whole truth, and as Paul said in a letter, we will receive the whole truth in heaven,
Right, yeah.
because we will be able to support it. But we have to believe that it's a good thing to say the whole truth anytime. We just can't do it now. But we have to seek for it more and more and more until the end.
Good point. And yeah, and that's a reminder too, because for us, it all begins with God, right? And this, for us, it starts with ultimate reality is God. So that's our reference point. God is the ultimate reality. He's also the ultimate truth. So when we tell the truth, we're actually lining ourselves up with God. Okay? So that's where the power of truth comes in. So, and distorting that diminishes God's power. Because the power comes from God, truth, reality, us speaking truth. So there's a straight line, and us speaking truth carries the same impact as when God speaks the truth. He is the truth, yes.
But my reality is not always God's reality. So that's why I think it's dangerous, because we can point to God's reality, but we are human.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, maybe my reality is not the same as Yesha's reality, it's not the same as God's reality. So that's why we have to be wise and ask God if His reality and His truth is the same as my truth, and then I can share.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. Yeah, I have no problem with that at all. Eli.
Would you say like there's a difference between truth and true? Like, from what I've been explained, the wording true is like stating a fact about something. So, I don't know, an example could be like, for the guys going up to the outpost, the possums are, sound like not real children.
Screaming children. Or
Sure, that. So that could be like the fact, basically. But the truth behind it is they're still a creation of God made that is said to be good. So, I don't know. What do you think on that?
Okay, I'm not quite sure I'm following, but,
Something can be true without being the truth.
oh, it can be true, but not necessarily the truth.
Yeah.
But if it's true, it's part of the truth.
I don't have any problem with that. Yeah. Carmen.
I think that's like the difference between perception and reality,
Yeah.
because truth aligns with reality, whereas our perception can sometimes be distorted, especially given on the amount of information we have. Sometimes we don't know all the details of the situation. So like to say, I heard a screaming child last night, that for us could be like what we perceive as true without actually being the truth.
Right, yeah, good point, yeah. And that's, I think that's very possible where and every individual has a little bit of different perception, because we're not all the same, so we perceive things a little differently. Yeah, good point. Okay, one more comment, Daniel, we're gonna move
I
on.
just want to say, I think when it comes like down to like what is the truth, it's really simple. And like I often feel like sometimes you can't say the truth, and sometimes like there are reasons why you can't tell. But like normally, I think what God sees as like when we have to say the truth is these moments when we think it would be like better for us or for our benefit to lie in those moments. And I think when it comes to sin, if we are like not an accident, but if we do it like because we see a benefit in lying rather than saying the truth, and that is, I think it's pretty easy, and there's not like, you don't need to overthink that stuff because it's just really simple. Don't lie, say the truth. And because I feel like people do like a theology thing now out of like, what is the truth and what is true, or like what is a lie, and what can we say and what not. If you don't feel comfortable to say something, you don't have to share something, and that doesn't mean you lie. You can just say I don't want to share. That's it. But if someone asks you if you took that pen, you took it, and you say no, that's a lie. Simple. That's it. I think lying is so simple if we break it down to what it actually is.
Rebecca, go ahead.
And we also spoke about, it's about the fear. Who are you fearing? Like when you want to say the truth, God or the man?
I said that, like, it was something
That was very good.
Let's, we'll let Dr. Peterson address the idea of telling the truth. And then I'll hear from Edna.
I start to love this.
What about Raymond? She had to lie.